Good morning. Myself, Vijay Krishna from Mechanical Department. From Unit 5, I am going to give two topics. One is analysis of the vapor compression refrigeration system, and second topic is effect of operating conditions on vapor compression cycle. So, in vapor compression refrigeration system, we know that there are four components: compressor, condenser, expansion valve, evaporator. So, in these four components, there will be four thermodynamic process. So, in compressor, we'll have a isentropic compression process, that is process 1 to 2. 2 to 3 is a constant pressure heat rejection process that takes place in the condenser. 3 to 4 will be a throttling process that will be taking place in the expansion valve. 4 to 1 is a constant pressure heat absorption that takes place in the evaporator. So, working of vapor compression refrigeration system. So we know that in our household refrigerator itself, we are having evaporator, which is located inside the fridge component. Compressor, condenser, expansion valve are located outside. So whatever food items we are keeping inside the refrigerator, that is going to act as a load. So in the evaporator coil, we'll be passing the refrigerant. So that refrigerant will be at lower temperature, and the food item which we kept will be at higher temperature. So as a natural phenomena, the heat transfer takes place from higher temperature to lower temperature. That heat transfer takes place from the food item which we kept, that is a load. From that, the heat will be transferred to the refrigerant, which is passed inside the evaporator. So before evaporator, it will be low pressure, low temperature refrigerant. So after observing the heat, it will be changes to a low pressure vapor. So next component is the compressor. The compressor will be giving a work input. By giving work input, the low pressure vapor will be changes to a high pressure superheated vapor. Then 2 to 3 is a heat rejection process. So we can see that the condenser coil, which will be located backside of the fridge. So normally the condensing medium will be air or water. So in our household refrigerator, it is a natural convection. So in the process 2 to 3, from the condenser, there will be a heat rejection. So high pressure superheated vapor will be changes to a high pressure liquid. Next, the process 3 to 4, in which there will be due to drop in pressure, the high pressure liquid will be changes to a low pressure, low temperature refrigerant. In expansion valve, as I said earlier, there will be a throttling process. So the expansion valve can be called it as a capillary tube or throttle valve. These three terms, capillary tube, expansion valve, and throttle valve, are going to function same thing. So different textbook, they might have used different names, okay, but the function is same only: capillary tube, expansion valve, and throttle valve. So we'll see the state, okay. For ideal compression refrigeration system, we'll see the state. So state 1, that state 1 is either it will be before compressor or after evaporator. So this point. So here it will be the refrigerant condition will be dry and saturated refrigerant vapor. Then state 2, it will be after compressor or before condenser. So in that case, it will be superheated state because we are giving work input to the compressor. Then state 3 will be a saturated liquid refrigerant, that is after condenser or before throttle valve or expansion valve. Here we can see that the high pressure superheated vapor is changes to a high pressure liquid because the heat is rejected from the condenser. Then before evaporator or after expansion valve, the refrigerant will be a mixture of liquid and vapor. So normally it is a wet condition. So this is the typical TS diagram of the VCR, that is vapor compression refrigeration system. So in y-axis we took temperature and x-axis we took entropy. This TS diagram you might have already studied in your thermodynamics Rankine cycle. Similar pattern only. According to the VCR system, the concept, the condition will vary. So in this TS diagram, this left side of the curve is a saturated liquid curve, and the topmost point in the curve is known as a critical point, and right side of this curve is known as a saturated vapor line. So this line is known as a constant pressure line. There are three regions in the TS diagram. So this left side portion, this is known as a supercooled region, and below this curve, this region is known as a wet region, and right side this region is known as a superheated region. So already previous slide we have seen the state 1 is a dry and saturated refrigerant vapor. So at state 1 it is a saturated vapor. So we have to mark in the saturated vapor curve. Then state 2 is a superheated state. So you can see that the state 2, it is marked in the superheated region. And state 3 is a saturated liquid. So state 3 is marked in the saturated liquid curve. And state 4, that is a wet region. So state 4 is marked in the wet region. So here we can see that refrigeration effect. So this area represents the refrigeration effect. Now analysis of VCR system. So in this we are going to use steady flow energy equation. So already in unit 1 thermodynamics for open system, we have used steady flow energy equation. Here our objective is that already in thermodynamics unit 2, the COP definition for refrigerator, it is given heat removed per unit time divided by work input per unit time. That is COP of refrigerator is QL divided by work input. Now in this analysis of VCR system, our objective is that to bring COP in terms of enthalpy. So process 1 to 2 is an isentropic compression process that takes place in the compressor. So here we are neglecting potential energy and kinetic energy, and therefore we are writing an equation H1 plus Q equal to H2 plus W. Since it is an isentropic compression process, the Q becomes 0 and W becomes minus. So it is a negative work. In the case of turbine, it is a work done by the turbine. So we take it as a positive work. For compressor, we'll take it as a negative work. So therefore, H1 equal to H2 minus W, and therefore work input we got work input equal to H2 minus H1. Next to process 2 to 3, constant pressure heat rejection that takes place in the condenser, and we have a steady flow energy equation H2 plus Q equal to H3 plus W. In condenser, there will be a heat mechanism. There won't be any work mechanism. So W becomes 0. Since from the condenser, the heat is rejected, we are taking H2 minus Q equal to H3. And therefore, this QH becomes QH equal to H2 minus H3. We can use QH or QR, but since condenser is a device which rejects heat at the higher temperature, we use the notation QH here. So the amount of heat rejected from the condenser, we can calculate using this expression QH equal to H2 minus H3, and work input given to the compressor, we can calculate using H2 minus H1. Next process is a throttling process. So H3 plus Q equal to H4 plus W. So in all these cases, if you see compressor, 1 is the inlet condition and 2 is the outlet condition. For condenser, 2 is the inlet condition and 3 is the outlet condition. For throttle valve, 3 is the inlet condition and 4 is the outlet condition. So H3 plus Q equal to H4 plus W. So for throttling process, this Q equal to 0, W equal to 0, and therefore H3 equal to H4. So throttling process in which the enthalpy remains constant. Next is process 4 to 1, constant pressure heat absorption that takes place in the evaporator. 4 is the inlet state and 1 is the outlet state. So we had a steady flow energy equation H4 plus Q equal to H1 plus W. So since here there is a heat transfer mechanism, there is no work involved in the evaporator, W becomes 0. And here we are observing the heat. So therefore we are taking a positive quantity. Therefore QL equal to H1 minus H4. So this COP, we are familiar, COP equal to heat removed per unit time, that is QL, and work supplied per unit time, that is work input. Now this, according to this, we can write in terms of enthalpy. So already from this derivation, we have seen that QL equal to H1 minus H4. So the numerator QL is replaced by H1 minus H4. In the denominator, we are having work input. So for work input, we got H2 minus H1. So we had H2 minus H1. So therefore, COP equal to H1 minus H4 divided by H2 minus H1, COP in terms of enthalpy. So H1, it represents the refrigerant at the saturated vapor. H4 represents the vapor, the refrigerant in the wet condition, and H2 represents the vapor in the superheated condition. So there are two types of chart normally we are having. One is pressure enthalpy chart and second one is a temperature entropy chart. So using this chart, we can find out the COP of the refrigeration system. So normally we are having pressure enthalpy chart. So while solving problem also, you'll be using this pH chart, and we are having the data book also. So you'll be using and you'll be solving the problem based on this. So pressure enthalpy chart, and this is the TS chart. So first we'll see what is the similarity. Same thing only, what the TS diagram, how we are having a saturated liquid curve and saturated vapor curve, and middle, this top point is critical point. The same thing, this region is going to be a saturated liquid and topmost point is a critical point, and this right side curve is a saturated vapor. And obviously we are having the same three regions here. So a subcooled region, wet region, and superheated region. These are the same similarity. The difference is going to be here we had a constant pressure line in the TS diagram, whereas in the pH diagram we are having a constant temperature line. That is the difference. So according to the condition, we have plotted state 1 dry saturated refrigerant, state 2 superheated condition, and state 3 saturated liquid, and state 4 is the wet condition. So the topic 1 is over. Next we move on to the second topic, effect of operating conditions on vapor compression cycle. So there are 4 parameters we have to, and that based on the 4 parameters, how was the refrigeration effect, whether the work input to the compressor is increased or decreased. These things we are going to analyze. First thing is effect of evaporator pressure. So in the effect of evaporator pressure, we are going to reduce the evaporator pressure. Second, effect of condenser pressure. Here we are going to increase the condenser pressure. Third thing, effect of suction vapor superheat. So in the ideal case, you can see that inlet 1 to 2 is a isentropic compression process that takes place in the compressor. So before entry to the compressor, it is in the dry saturated condition. So instead of sending dry saturated condition, if we send superheat, what will be the effect? That is the third condition. And fourth one, effect of liquid subcooling. So that is after condenser or before throttle valve, that is state 3, you can see that it is in the saturated liquid line. So instead of sending saturated liquid line, if we send subcooled liquid, how will be the effect? So these 3-4 concepts we are going to see with the help of pH and TS diagram. So effect of evaporator pressure. So as I said, we are having a evaporator pressure, that is, it has a constant pressure, that is P4 equal to P1. So here we are going to reduce the evaporator pressure. So by reducing the evaporator pressure, you can see that the pressure shifted from P1 to P1 dash. So let's see, by changing the pressure, what is the effect in the temperature in the TS diagram. So previously we are having the temperature here 1. So after changing the that is after reducing the evaporator pressure, the evaporator temperature also reduced. That is one advantage. But what is the drawback if we see here in the ideal case, that is 4, 1, 2, 3. That is the ideal case. 1 to 2 represents the work input given to the compressor. 4-1-2-3 represents the second condition, that is reduced pressure in the evaporator. By reduced pressure in the evaporator, we can notice that the work input to the compressor is increased. So that is shown in the shaded region. So if work input to the compressor is increased, means the COP will decrease. We know the expression COP equal to QL divided by work input. So if work input given to the compressor increases in the denominator, obviously the COP will decrease. Next one, effect of condenser pressure. So here what we are going to do, we are going to increase the condenser pressure. So condenser pressure, condenser is a device in which there will be a constant pressure heat rejection. So that is represented here, P2 equal to P3. So we have increased the pressure from P2 to P2 dash. So what is the effect in the TS diagram, we'll see. So by changing pressure, that means by increasing the pressure, the temperature, the condenser temperature also increased. We can see that from 2, the curve is shifted to 2 dash, from 3, it is shifted to 3 dash. So by increase in temperature, it leads to a higher amount of heat rejection from the condenser. But what drawback we are facing here, we can see that in the ideal case, the refrigeration effect 4 to 1. But by increase in pressure, the refrigeration effect shifted to 4 to 4 dash. So here it is clearly mentioned here for a new condition H1 minus H4 dash, for ideal condition H1 minus H4. So by increasing the condenser pressure, the amount of heat rejection is increased, but the refrigeration effect is reduced. That is drawback. And another drawback is that we can see that the region 2 is shifted to 2 dash. That is shown in the shaded region. Again, what happened? The work input given to the compressor is increased. Next is effect of suction vapor superheat. So in the ideal case, we are sending a saturated vapor refrigerant to the compressor. Instead of that, we are sending superheated vapor to the compressor. So by doing this, what advantage we can notify here is that in the ideal case, we are having refrigeration effect between 4 to 1. But after doing superheating process, we can see that the 1 is shifted to 1 dash. That is 4 to 1 dash. So by adopting superheating condition, the refrigeration effect is increased. But again, the problem is that we can see that the shaded region, increased shaded region, that is work given to the compressor is again increased. So for this condition, if you see a COP dash equal to H1 dash minus H4 divided by H2 dash minus H1 dash. For ideal case, we had a COP equal to H1 minus H4 divided by H2 minus H1. What is the difference between these two expressions? This H1 represents the refrigerant at the saturated vapor condition. This H1 dash represents the refrigerant at the superheated condition. Though the refrigeration effect is increased by implementing superheat condition, but we have to give extra work to the compressor. Next one, effect of subcooling. So in the effect of subcooling, that is what we are doing here at initial condition, that is in ideal condition at state 3, it is in the saturated liquid condition. So at this condition itself, we are transferring the refrigerant to the throttle valve. But instead of that, we are slightly we are rejecting the heat. We are bringing the saturated liquid to the subcooled condition. So by doing this subcooled condition, okay, that is, we can see that the 0.3 is shifted to 3 dash. So by adopting subcooling, we can notify that the refrigeration effect is increased from 4.1 to 4-1. Here we can see that the refrigeration, this shaded region shows that the refrigeration effect is increased by adopting the subcooling. The major advantage is that the refrigeration effect is increased without any change the work input given to the compressor. We are not giving any extra work input to the compressor. With the same work input to the compressor, we are getting more refrigeration effect with the subcooling concept. So because of this subcooling concept, obviously the COP will increase. Now we'll see the summary of these four conditions. First condition, we have reduced the effect of evaporator pressure. We have reduced the evaporator pressure. By doing evaporator pressure, the evaporator temperature decreases. So what is the unfavorable here? The refrigeration effect decreases. The work input to the compressor is also increased. Second parameter, effect of condenser pressure. That means we are increase the condenser pressure. So by increasing the condenser pressure, the heat of rejection from the condenser is increased. But unfavorable is the refrigeration effect decreases, the work input to the compressor is also increases. Next one, superheat condition. Though it increases the refrigeration effect, it happens by giving extra work input to the compressor. Last one is effect of liquid subcooling. So without giving any extra work to the compressor, we can able to achieve more refrigeration effect in the case of subcooling, and therefore the COP of the system also increases. So among these four conditions, the effect of liquid subcooling is more desirable for the VCR system. So these are the references I took, Magesh Rathu, Rajput. So that's it. Thank you for listening.